Is working. Might be. I don't know. So this theoretically will be recorded as well. So I'm just trying to check it out. Some of you guys were getting back to me on YouTube, which is actually really cool. If I'm able to stream directly through YouTube, that's hot crap. So far it looks good. A lot of the stuff is new. I'll probably be rambling a lot like we did before, but I'm just going to start sharing some of these links around, just see if we can get some people in here, see how it looks, and all that cool stuff. So just give me 1 second. You guys can settle in. We're going to be working on some JESOP King character design for um, what's the project? Oh, the project's JESOP King, but Momo, his partner in crime. So we'll say. So 1 second here. This is pretty off the cuffs. Again, just testing all these streaming kind of thing right through YouTube and Google, just to see where it's going. So it's pretty laid back, nothing too dramatic here. Feel free to scrub through this video or just stop watching altogether. Like I said, it'll be pretty laid back, just doing some testing here. Trying out some streaming action through YouTube. Come say hello. Working on some JESOP King webcomic. What are we working on? Concepts. Okay, so post that. And we got this background music. I don't even know what the hell it is. It sounds like some trance club music. It's royalty free stuff, so just for now. The page manager. Through YouTube. Okay, so click that. And there should be, I'm going to check too in the link here as well, but I believe there's an open chat now, which is great. It's definitely something that was missing from the Google Hangouts version. Okay, so I'm just going to actually click the link here myself. Check it out. It looks like I'm getting bad video setting, so I'm going to see if I can fix that too. See when that shows up. Let's just draw something real scribble here, see how long it takes to show up on the stream. Cool. Seems fine. Yeah, okay, so it looks like we got a couple people in here now. Like I say, we're just testing this stuff out. So thanks for popping in. There should be a chat right on the right there. Feel free to knock in some chatting. Okay, so bad video settings. Please use a keyframe frequency of 4 or less. Whatever that means. Seemed fine. I don't know. I'm getting 720. Yeah, I mean, I'm using a, what's it called? The Cintiq 12WX. And its native resolution, I believe, is 1280 by 800. So it's very small. So I really can't do anything better than that. That's why sometimes you guys will get. It depends what I'm using. Like a lot of, if I'm using Open Broadcaster like we're doing right now, if I'm just doing it myself, seems like it's pretty good. But anyway, is the audio laggy? Is the music too loud? Any of that cool stuff? Thanks guys for popping in to help me out here. I'll probably go on for about, I don't know, half hour, an hour, something like that. So I'm trying to sneak in some time to do some JESOP King stuff. I'm just trying to get my brushes all set up here. I haven't been in Manga Studio in so long. It feels it's starting to feel alien to me here. But it's good to be back in here. Let's see what we got for our eraser. Yeah, that'll be fine. Oh, you can't hear music? Okay, maybe I have it down, turned down too low. But you can hear me, so that's fine. I'll turn it up. We'll go to 26%. No like? Sweet. Thanks, Brian. And hello, Jerome. So, what we're going to do today is, or so far anyway, JESOP King, he has like that a sidekick character. Her name's Momo. She's a princess. Well, doesn't matter. Princess jellyfish squid thing. And she's got the head of a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. At least that's where I'm trying to trying to get the general idea for her. So what we're gonna do for some design stuff is I'm not quite sure what to do with the mouth. It's usually been pretty big. To get the Ninja Turtle thing, we'll have to put like a little bit of a nose on there, which I'm not sure if we're gonna do, but just do some concept stuff, just some sketches, see what kind of sticks. You got 6 arms and stuff, and I remember trying to figure out if I was gonna give her a cape. There's got to be something we can do here too. Maybe just eyelashes to make sure it looks like a. Oh, still no tunes, eh? Oh no, you're right. Okay, it's my fault. I see what's going on here. 1 second. Audio. One second. I'll be right back. Okay, should be back. I don't know if I don't think the music will be working again. I think I have to actually restart this, but I mean the audio is working, so that's fine. It's actually cool. Since everything's through YouTube, we get like a whole bunch of other things in here. You get some analytics and stuff like that. Yeah, no, thank you, Brian. So I'm gonna do just a couple sketches here. Then we're gonna do somewhat tighter lines over it. But I just want these to stay pretty loose here. So I'm gonna start trying to play with some shape maybe. Give her some bigger eyes. Maybe like a tiara instead of a crown. Probably be more princess-like. You, Jordan Sang, bought the first issue of the Standard at New York Comic Con. Oh, awesome! That's oh man, that's some old stuff. So you picked it up this year, did you? Oh, these eyes look real creepy. So the design elements, I mean, it's a pretty simple character, so I don't know, maybe it's just simplicity is the way to go with her. Because I feel like I start adding like cape action to her or something, or hair. Just, I don't know, maybe it defeats the overall feel of it. Yeah, apparently Comics Tribe had a much bigger booth this year. I think they were on the normally, from what I know, I only work with them slightly, and I still try to talk to those guys as much as I can, but I don't know all the ins and outs and stuff. But from what I understood, this year Comics Tribe was on the retailer section, if that's what it's properly called, instead of the artist alley. So they were getting a lot more traffic this year than previous years, which is awesome. Means they're growing. Took a chance, you know. All that good stuff. So yeah, awesome. Hope you enjoyed the book. I really enjoyed the story anyway. I mean, the art's something else. You'll notice, I don't know if you're going to pick up the other remaining books or anything, but the art changes like pretty drastic, I would say. I think it took like 3 years to do, and a lot of reasons for that, not just the amount of work it was, discipline and things like this. Hey V, fan of the YouTube setup, awesome. I think ideally I would love to be able to just go through YouTube. Just makes sense. Everything ends up going there anyway. Uh, right now I'm looking at a screen that's kind of going over some of the stuff that's there, but it's saying like it gives me all kinds of information. Or like the best part here, you guys can't really see it, but at the bottom you can get analytics once it's done, so you can start to see like where everybody's coming from and all that cool stuff. Abandoning Picarto? If so, Twitch is making a big push. Yeah, no, I don't. So Picarto's, there's nothing wrong with it. I just feel like here with Google Hangouts and YouTube, honestly, the biggest reason that I'm at Picarto right now is because where I was before, I forget where it was, LiveStream, I think it was. It was just giving me a whole bunch of problems, and I'm not sure. I just had to get out of there. So we're looking around, and Picarto seemed like it was a streaming site for artists, right? But the more I look around there, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just it's a lot of anime and furry stuff, and again, there's nothing wrong with that. But the more I'm doing, I'd like to be doing more streaming. So when I'm done these things, having to upload it to YouTube and stuff, it just takes more time. That's all. So again, going through Google, it's all like it auto uploads when you're done, which is a huge boon, man. That's why I'm just testing out YouTube right now, because I just want to see what that experience is like. I know what the Google Hangouts version's like, and it's pretty, it doesn't hurt. It's fine. It's not a big deal. So we can try doing something different with the eyes. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, Twitch. I've been looking on Twitch as well. There's lots of really cool services. But again, just the auto upload is it's a huge deal. From even wanting to make a switch, we'll say. So we're just farting around while we can. I'm gonna soften these things up here. Don't give her too many points. I'm also gonna do. I don't plan on just doing this today. I'm gonna try to like settle on something. Most likely to be closer to the first one that we did. I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna try to do some like some cool pictures over here with her powers and stuff like that. So this character here, she's more of Jessup he's very intelligent, but he's like there's nothing new with a lot of the character designs I'm doing with them, but he's like the big lovable squeezable giant. He's all about life, like everything should live, tries to find the best solutions, see the best in people, just that annoying goody two shoes, right? And I just like that idea of a character. Whereas Momo here, she's more of the impulse, that side. So you get the dichotomy between the two characters. So she's one that's impulsive, reactive, very opinionated. I don't want to say doesn't think, but very spastic, right? So her powers too. I know I wanted to do something like the book's a sci-fi book, but I'm not like a huge science fiction fan. I do really love fantasy, but I just love the characters so much here. So I want to start playing around with having like paladins and things like that, but space paladins and stuff without like necessarily everybody having like rifles. I guess more like a Star Wars feel. So she's, I guess you would consider her like the magic user, lightning and stuff like that. So those would be some cool images that hopefully we can do today. It's a more push towards hentai. Yeah, well, I haven't gone that far down the rabbit hole of Picarto. Although to be fair, drawing adult content, I mean, that's not. I don't want to do that. That's not what I want to do. But people that do want to do it, there's a very lucrative business out there. But people that I don't even know why we're going down this rabbit hole real quick. But people that are into hentai and porn, they're more actively there's two sides, right? They want everything free, obviously, but I think what's really cool with like Picarto and stuff in this case is like you can charge for it if you really enjoy it, and there's more people that are just going to straggle in that way, So, you know, that's cool. Whatever. Via saying, I think one benefit of Twitch would be easier access to viewers. The way the search promotes higher viewership channels might help you. Yeah, no, that's a wonderful point too. Though there's hundreds of thousands of art interested folks on YouTube. If you have any other hardcore amount of trolls that might come drop in and out is what mods are for. So we'll see. Yeah, it's exciting. All right, I don't want to. Okay, so let's get smart here. Let's see what we're doing with concepting here. So I've only got four. I'm gonna try going outside the box now. So I've got like all this. You can see it's the same recurring shapes here. I'm not playing around too much with the tentacles and stuff. Um, these designs are kind of getting further away. Like this one here, the fourth one is. Let me just number them here for myself. But the fourth one is getting a little bit maybe closer to something. I'm gonna actually grab a Ninja Turtle figurine I have here because I don't want to lose the reason for what we're doing or what I'm doing here. And let's just draw a Ninja Turtle head, big old dirty Ninja Turtle head. The only problem is we're gonna have to cartoonify it up, make it a little bit more cartoony. Brian saying, yeah, if you need a quick buck doing adult work under an alternate name is a quick buck if is never a bad thing. Yeah, totally. So we can turn the music up so you guys can probably hear it through my mic a little bit anyway. I don't know. Just so that it kills like the dead silence there. Again, it's like this dance music. I don't know what the hell this is. Maybe her head could actually be formed in a crown, or maybe her hair is kind of coming up. That looks just weird. That's really weird. Now, move along. Maybe not that drastic as the turtle shape. Kind of reminds you of the female design from the Koopa from the Mario Brothers show. I haven't. Let me actually look for that. It's been a while since I've seen that show. Oh, the Koopa Kids. That's Koopa Kids. What was her name again? Wendy. Actually, this might be a little closer to where we're going. Although that her lipstick mouth that's creepy as hell. divot in her teeth there. Maybe she's like missing a tooth. Or, not just a smaller tooth maybe in there. Just some character maybe. I do like what was kind of on that other one, that Koopa girl. She had like a big bow. Slimes from sweet. So the bow is gonna make her look more cute, obviously. Alright, let's get rid of this bow. Put hair. Yeah, I should get too busy with all that hair. So the thing I keep seeing as we just, keep doing the same stuff here is like this kind of look here is most likely where we're going, but it's not changing too much. So I don't want to beat myself up over this too much. If any of the projects I've done are a great example, especially Castle Dracula, the more time I spend doing character design, the work just doesn't start on the comic, right? And she's fine. It doesn't have to be like anything too amazing. Like if I can't come up with something, and I've been trying for the last couple of days, just looking at different things, art books and stuff, and there's not too much that I've been looking at that's changed drastically into what I could do for design here. Just give me a second here. Grab a different book here, just do a quick flip through, see if we get any ideas. These are kind of cool. Oh man, I didn't even. Okay. Alright, cool. I'm getting into some stuff here that I just totally forgot about. So, if you guys like Final Fantasy, the Moogles, they've usually got like this one little thing, and I've always loved it. It's like a little ball in their head. We're going to toss it on this character here. See how that feels. So what I'm noticing too is like it's not necessarily the overall like the elements, like the detail work, like the mask and stuff like that. It's thanks Cam. It's the face. The face is all I've really got to work with for the most part. I mean, everything else is pretty much what it is, right? So let's go ahead here. So the big eyes, smile of some sort, but the Moogle thing is like this. I've always liked it ever since playing Final Fantasy VI. Always loved that. It's kind of like an anglerfish sort of feel to it. I'll put that there too. But like I said, let's see if we can add something to the design. Like I said earlier, she's very impulsive, rash, very instinctual. doesn't think before acting a lot, right? So maybe there's like those are like aggressive kind of tendencies. And I do like put that little dip in the bottom teeth there, like in this one. Do like that. So maybe we could put like a little crown on there. Okay, so I just want to make sure. Brian's saying you may want to consider changing the shape of the head altogether if you keep getting pretty much similar design. Yeah, you're right. It's a very problematic thing with design. If you keep doing the exact same thing over and over again, you got to change it up. So changing that, I know personally, like I enjoy the shape of the head. There's a cartoony element to it. So like stretching it and stuff like that. Like it's not 3 is about the most drastic of a change, but it's not even that big of a change. Just the idea of like Ninja Turtles Adventures, that shape is what I'm interested in trying to find if there is something in there. But you're 100% right. Hey, Pure. Thank you. Thank you. Hopefully we can get more streams and make sure YouTube's good to go. So let's put the crown back on, or we can design like a different crown. I'm just going to keep using this generic one. Princess Momo. So there, maybe we can do something like, I'm going to make a new layer actually. We just put like a pattern or something. Like that might be enough to just... It's okay. And you just have the tentacles that come out here. We put little like gloves or something on the foreground ones. And by doing like a design pattern like that somewhere on there, it lends us to be able to like, you know, carry that design into the rest of the little tentacle areas, you know? V, if she's more of a childish character, you could always do the silly cartoon band-aid on the nose thing. Band-aids. Right, let's put a band-aid on her. See how that looks. Put it right in the middle of the face. Makes her feel a little bit more like she's a scrapper. Maybe put her over the side, maybe. Oh yeah, that's right. You get little stickers and stuff for the chat. Alright. So I'm kind of liking where this one's going. This one's kind of getting us out of a tricky spot. Let's save it up here. I'm just trying to think. There's something else we can do here. Do we give her a cape? Let's try one with a cape. Let's see how this kind of looks. Maybe we can do little eyebrows too. Hey, David. Let's quickly hammer this in there. Kind of wonder if the crown makes it. No, the crown. She needs the crown. The crown's. I was gonna say the crown maybe feels like it's making her a little busy, but put her to the side here. Let's give her a cape here. So, what's a design we can? This round shape. We can mirror that. This music is just ugh. Alright, so let's give her that cape here. Maybe we can bring that design back in too from her head. Sort of like what we did with Castle Dracula. One, two, three, four, five, six. There you go. Maybe? I don't know. Maybe it's making her feel a little bit more. Actually, you know what? We're gonna. Okay. Maybe she's a witch. Princess. Space jelly. There we go. Witch princess space jelly. Fuck, say that 3 times fast. Witch princess. Okay, so now we're getting so princess like a jellyfish kind of thing was what the idea initially was. Adding the witch element to her. The princess, obviously the crown, you can get them elements in there, right? Like there's some design that brings in with just words, right? But bringing witch, maybe there's things we can add now. Maybe does she have a wand? Is that what she uses for cast spells? Remember I said I wanted her to be sort of like the mage in the group here. Jessup would be the knight, the paladin, that big guy, right? But you need them spellcasters. So maybe she's just a conjurer here, like a witch. So what else could a witch have? Maybe she got gloves. No, I don't know about I don't know about gloves. See if we can design like a Alright, let's go back to our designs here, see what we had, if there's anything else that we could bring in. Alright, now you guys are getting cool. A floating spell book that follows her around. I like that. That actually sounds really cool. Offhand lantern. Cool underwater effects. That's also really slick. Gonna be stealing all your guys' ideas. I do like the idea of that book, though. That I'm a big fan of battle chasers. I hope you guys are too. And Nolan the Wizard, he's got like this massive book. Anybody that's played World of Warcraft, I always liked it. It's ridiculous looking, but I always thought it was cool. Like even what's it called? The Paladins and stuff. They'd always have like this gigantic effing book that'd be next to them, and it looks really epic, right? Now the trick. All right, this cannot be royalty-free music. This is Mario or the Zelda. Let's skip that. So where would we put a book? I really do enjoy that. I want to see if we can figure in putting in a book because that does bring in like right now. Like I say, it's a sci-fi story. There's spaceships and stuff like that, but there's nothing sci-fi about the character. There's no like I don't want to say metal. So maybe that's the element we could bring it in. I'm gonna turn this music down a little bit. Oh, yeah, with like a big old dirty witch hat. That's always pretty easy to see, right? When you get that. Alright, so what we're going to do here, actually, this is what I like to do for design when it's pretty hard to come up with like an idea. Is we're going to do some silhouettes, but we're going to use, doing it like a funky shaped brush here. Yeah, that'll work. This way you can actually hammer out a lot of design pretty quick with just a silhouette, right? So we're kind of getting to the place where we know where we're going. We want the soft shape, so her head's here. She's going to have that sort of thing going. The crown might actually start to... I don't know if it's going to start competing with some of these designs. That's fine. Oops, they're not that big. Actually, they don't curl that much. When you start curling things like that, it starts to look a little villainesque. So we got there 4, 5, 6. Okay. So this is about the design we got going right now for her. So where can we put it? Maybe it is just like I don't know. We put the cape. The cape. If we put the cape in, look at this. It like starts to block things off. What's the cape's always like that. So the cape's actually competing, I think, with the design. I do like the way that looks, but maybe it's there's something that goes like that, like one of those like old English things that like the Queen would wear, or something like that. I don't know what the hell they're called. Makes her feel a little bit more prissy too, I guess. Big old dirty spell book. Maybe she got a couple spell books that are always around there. No, we'll just do the one. We want the wand. Kind of like this look. Hey, Bosco. I know, right? Surprise. Alright, let's see. Let's try some more stuff out here. This is if you guys are designing your characters and stuff, like we didn't do this when we started the show, but I always talk about this. It's a concept art technique. I highly recommend you do it for your designs as well if you're trying to come up with like a somewhat unique design, because we can always draw into this, but it's taking no time to just sort of like figure this out, as opposed to kind of doing what we were doing before, where you're drawing the characters out, as they're going. One thing I just noticed here, her hand is sticking out here, but it sort of mirrors this. So perhaps the wand could be like actually pretty big if she has a wand. Decisions. Let's put the floor here. And I don't think necessarily I have to go as dramatic with the design. I mean, this one's starting to look cool, but at the same time, it might be getting just a little too crazy. A princess too, not a queen, right? Like if I were to put these two next to each other, this one could clearly be the queen. This one would be more possibly a prince or a princess. So is there something else maybe we could do? She has a bow on there? No. Just dual wield. Nah. That floating book is so sick. Okay. Maybe just the book instead of the wand? It's probably better. So, if we got a book, she's spellcasting and doing all kinds of cool stuff. The witch part. Witch. Maybe she's just an apprentice witch. We don't gotta go into too much stuff. Because like I'm with you, man. Tossing like this on there is just instantly sweet. You know that witch's hat? Oh yeah, look at that right away. It's so much cooler, right? Maybe we do. Okay, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna try using what you said there. So have the head, witch's hat. Maybe not go as crazy with it, and we can actually build in the crown right on top of it, perhaps. And we got room for this. Can that still stick out? Yeah, I'm kind of liking that. And Jesop's pretty just standard. It's actually kind of horrifying, this. Massive shoulders. Anyway, okay, so what we'll do is we'll take that. So I'm just going to grab my marquee tool. We're just going to select around it. Oh, cool. I didn't know that. Maybe I got some selection tool turned on. That's cool. And we're going to make a new layer. And we'll paste it in there. We'll just zoom out so we can see where we're at. Bring it here. Make it larger. Drop the opacity down. Make a new layer. More layers. And now we're just going to draw on top. And that's how silhouetting pretty much works, and that's how easy it can be. It's a little tricky, right? Like figuring like, okay, how do things break in and all that, but it's not that crazy. And you don't have to conform to it perfectly, but it's just there to give you the idea. So we would tilt our eyes up. Make her happy here. Plus, I'm not clearly that good at drawing hats, so this will be a good way to get better at that. So here we got to construct a crown, right? So I like the tiara as well, so maybe we can come in here like this. Maybe something like that. This here I do like, but maybe I think it's conflicting with it. Yeah, you after about 10,000 panels, yeah, you're right. I'll have to get better at it, right? Maybe we can put it on the back here. Yeah, we'll do that. There we go. Sneak it in back there. And we'll have to design a sick looking book too. Big old chunky trim on it. Maybe like a diamond or something in the middle. Something like that. Yeah, let's kill what we had underneath there. Cool, feels good. I don't mind that. So I think what we'll do now is we're going to just test it out. Actually, the one element that it is missing is some sci-fi stuff. Not that she needs it, but perhaps there is something there. Could put some metal on her hands. Does that feel weird? Nah, I don't like those on there. And I was thinking maybe like a digital book, but that might start just looking like a magical book. Just try to think here. What does Jessup have? Let me bring him on screen here. Where we got here is the pinup color. Let's bring him on here just so we can compare the two. Whoops. Alright, so what elements can we bring here to unify these guys? Just to make sure that they look good next to each other, right? They're supposed to be together. So he's got the Pokeballs. Although, I mean, like, the only thing sci-fi about him is really the Pokeballs. And I guess the superhero kind of looking outfit. What's that, V? Might put the sci-fi part in the Crown Terrace. It's already... Yeah, it's like, this is really the only busy area we have, is to develop something into this crown. Actually, whoop, I messed her face up. That's not right. She needs eyebrows. And that face pattern, which we might keep, might get rid of. Just adds a lot of detail to the face, which could be good, could be bad. Might look like a beard. I don't know. With the hat, it does look a little off. Could she wear a belt? Maybe. I mean, witches do wear belts. I don't know. I mean, it might be kind of cool. Like, how does somebody like this keep a belt always wrapped around her with little pouches and stuff? Although that defeats the point. If she's got pouches and stuff, that's why Jessup has them. So what doesn't he have? She needs range. She's attacking. She's a spellcaster. She's sparky. I don't know. Maybe the metal tips on the hand. Hmm. I might bring the cape back. I'm just trying to add a little bit of femininity back into it because it's getting pretty masculine. Yeah, the cape will help. I don't know. I don't know. The metal tips, I guess they're kind of whatever. They're fine. So what we'll do is let's save this up, and I'm gonna move Jessup here off to the side. We don't need that. I'm gonna move this whole thing off screen so I can see it. We're gonna do just like a little pinup, similar to like the Jessup one there. Maybe not as dramatic. And I'm not sure what screen resolutions I use and stuff. So let's just pull up pinup lines. Yeah, thanks for popping in today, guys, too. Really do appreciate it, helping me out. Alright, so we got Jessup here. And let me make sure my tools are right. Seems like it might be. No, that's right. And the ink. This is a test that I like to do sometimes. Like, there's this thing in Manga Studio. I've said it before. You guys might like it. You click this too. It just saves all the settings you currently have for your. Excuse me. Sorry. This saves all your settings that you currently have. Like if you want your stability, brush size, and all that. But I do go in here and sometimes I do, fiddle around with settings. So what I'll do is usually just open up a picture real quick that I know the settings are sort of where I want to go. I'm just draw over it real quick just to see if everything's still lining up. Like this line right here, this deadline that I have, it feels like it might be too small, right? Like I zoom out and that feels not so hot. Because I'm wondering if this Jessup King picture was done in 600 dpi. Puppy, hey, how's it going, bud? I'm surprised I'm still watching this because my phone can barely play. Well, thanks for continually watching it, man. So apparently I was an idiot, and I guess I have flattened this whole image here. So is this 3 pixels, though? Okay, let's go up one. Let's see what 4 pixels looks like. Alright, that's seeming a little bit better. Let's try a 3.5. That's better. 3.5 though, like what a weird. Oops. 3.5, then we'll save it again. Yeah, that looks better. Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about. Sometimes it's just a small thing. It's not like a huge deal. It's not like, okay, well, we're done. We can't we can't work anymore on this stuff. But it's just a very quick way to try to understand what the hell is going on. Sometimes people's brushes and settings, they get a little out of whack. Oops. So kill that, kill that. Make a new layer. Let's just save this here. Momo pinup 1 underscore lines. All right, and again, I have the design off screen, so you guys can't see it. We'll get there. Not a big deal. All right, let's get a big old fat version of the brush. Bleh. Nice. Yeah, that's good. And this is where we're just going to sort of try to figure it out. So Jessup's coming down on an angle. I wasn't really planning too much on his pinup. It was just sort of just, let's have a fun drawing of him. We still have to come up with a color design too for Momo, but we can get the line art going. So maybe we can get a little bit more, get the magic kind of going. See if we can bring some action here. Just trying to figure out, get her here and just keep going. Rocks and stuff.
she's shooting a fireball. Down here, you get the book. And this hat is actually going to be, I can already see, like, this hat's going to cause some stuff. Because, like, it's so large, right? Let's flip it, take a look. So it's getting pretty busy here. Let's try to tighten this up here, see what we're doing. So the idea I was trying to go for here is just have the hand kind of coming up like that. No, don't like it. Don't like it. I can already feel that it just doesn't feel right. David saying, do you download brushes from Manga Studio? I usually just adjust the ones that are default, but I just found tons of free online. Is there a place you prefer to visit if you do know? I have a couple that you can get on my Patreon site, but if I were to recommend somebody buy something, right now I have a lot of the Friendin brushes. They're pretty much all in here. Not quite. I'm pretty sure just search Friendin Manga Studio 5. I don't know exactly the ones I have, but there's a lot of wonderful ones that are on there. And other than that, I do end up doing what you do. Is I just adjust certain things for certain needs, and then the thing I'm trying to do is get away from, at least right now, having a gigantic amount of brushes to use, because then I'm always experimenting and I'm like a squirrel. There's all these shiny new things running around, and it just prevents me personally from seeing something to completion, right? So I find that I tend to work. It's very fun for sketchbooking to just like get a big fat brush and just throw some stuff down, turn it into something. But for productivity, if I take away things from myself, I tend to work a little bit faster. So I know that's just a really convoluted way of saying yes, I did download brushes, and yes, I have made my own. Okay, so maybe we can do. What if she's? I'm just trying to think of her hand here. It's hard because if it was a person, right? The anatomy, I already know where the hand's coming. It's very superhero. But with like a squid, it's like a tentacle. Maybe she's like flicking her hand up and casting a spell. Maybe she's pointing towards us and casting a spell. What do we got here? What do we do here? Maybe we do something here. Oh, no problem. Yeah, it's patreon.com/Rector. Right at the bottom here of the screen, you can see it. Once this JESOP King stuff, I'm hoping by the end of the year, I'd like to get the comic at least started online. Possibly next month, start getting more Patreon rewards towards that. So a lot of the behind the scenes stuff, and like a lot of this kind of thing here. So I'm struggling with this hat here, because it takes up so much real estate. You know what? Okay, I'm gonna cheese out right now. I'm just gonna do the like just a nice shot of her for now. I don't want to. I just feel like I'm wasting time trying to figure out like a really cool shot that really doesn't matter. Get the ground here, so we need to show her that she can fly, right? That she floats. keep the rocks going here, just so it's in the same location as like where Jessup is. Yeah, get the bend there. Because like this shot here will still give us enough to see the characters, like, you know, little unique kind of things. Again, like that dipped tooth. Get her eyebrows in there. Figure out the cape action. So one hand will be underneath the book. Down here, we can get the big book here. I don't want it touching. That way it still looks like, you know, there's magic going on. Then we can also have another tentacle up here. She's reading it. This feels like it works a little bit better here. This one feels just a little better. What do you guys think? It's a safe image, right? Nothing too demanding about it. All right, so I have that. So what I like to do is group everything up here, drag it down into the folder here. We can just call this roughs. Minimize that. Set my action here to do that. Highlight all these guys, bring them into another folder. Oh my god. These will be called lines. Hey Jojo. Hey bud. Done looking outside? Alright. Alright, so we got our eraser and we got our deadline. We're good to go. So now this is where it's interesting and boring at the same time. Because the line art tends to get pretty small here, but bear with me. So those of you that are interested in working in this method here, I bring it up every single time. Sort of becoming a habit now, but I call this the Freddy method. Again, it's the DC Comics Guide to Digitally Drawn Comics. Check the book out, check your library. I find that a lot of libraries actually have access to it, so you can check it out for free, see if it's something that you'll be into. And the reason I want to bring it up is because in this stage here, when we're doing these, I think it's a little bit of a misconception or a miswording, or where the thought process comes in. So this here, like you just saw us do the roughs, which are clearly rough, right? Like that's not, you can't really get any more rough. So the next stage can't be called like tight roughs. In a way, that's really what the next stage is. But the next stage here is called just tight line work, right? Your line art. And I feel like when people hear that, they feel like they have to continually undo and redo lines and get perfect lines. And you really don't need to do that. What the point of this stage here, the line art stage, is just to get the actual lines that matter down. And then when you ink, you can do some cleanup. So if you got lines that are overlapping or something just feels a little weird, when you're inking, you can ink in white, right? So you can erase while you're drawing. What does all that mean? Well, the big thing is some people, I feel, they get upset because of how long this stage takes, and it feels like, again, you have to be perfect. You have to have perfect lines every time, and you're just continually redoing, and you're not just moving forward as fast as like roughs or inking with a pressure-sensitive brush. So as long as you remember that this is really just picking out, like if you look at all those sketch lines and all those blue lines, you're just looking for the line that really matters. And it takes some, you know, like this cheek here. I could have picked this line or these lines here. I'm going with this one. It just feels good as we're going. So hopefully you guys will see that as we get this going here. But I just wanted to point that out because I do feel like people get a little bit confused with that step because of the language that's used, right? Tight line work, the line art stage. Line art is very permanent, right? So people, they think it needs to be perfect. The book's called the DC Comics Guide to Digitally Drawing Comics. It's a long name. It's drawn by Freddie Williams II. So just head on over to Amazon, check it out, just so you know what it looks like. And then again, I highly recommend it. I know I don't even know how many people here actually go to libraries anymore, but a lot of libraries have them. So here, I don't really like that lip that I drew there. Just zoom out here. So one thing I want to do is just lower this roughs layer a little bit more. And what I'll do here, just for you guys, because I've got a couple windows going here. So we're going to open up a new window. That we'll have this over here so you guys can see it as we go. Okay? You guys want to get to see the layers that I'm working on and stuff, but that's okay. If they have them in Denmark, give it a shot. Check it out. I'm sure, well, maybe not in your libraries. I don't know. Whoops. I did a whole bunch of things here, so I just have to actually delete this gross. Oh, what? The hell's going on? Shrink select. Oh, no, no, no. No, no, no. That's not what we want. Just gonna flip it here, take a look on this side. I don't want to get too teethy with the teeth here, but there you go. Cool. Yeah, you found it off Amazon for dirt cheap. Dirt cheap. So look at the eyes here, what we do here. I'm just going to show you. So I'm putting some line. Look how actually, like, this might look clean and fine, but let's just zoom in here. Look how dirty this is. So we got some lines coming over here. These lines aren't even connected. Look at this line right here. What's going on there? Like, these lines aren't even finished. But once we get to actually inking, or, here's the best part. When you start zooming out, a lot of those errors go away. And it's hard to see the way you're working in that way. Especially when you're working with something like this method here that's... There's no pressure to this brush that I'm using. Well, that's a lie. I am here in Manga Studio, but if you do it in Photoshop, you're supposed to just use like a brush that doesn't have any pressure sensitivity. So I'm going to give her the roundish eyebrows too. I know JESOP's are like that, but his are much more thick. I'm not going to put the eyes in just yet. I'm not sure what we're going to do with that. So let's see if we're going to put this... That's gross. It's actually kind of terrifying, this adding in there. Let's get rid of that. We can always add it later if I want to add it. I just felt that felt really weird. I didn't like that. So like there's just too much going on in there. Maybe if there was just like simpler ones like this, perhaps. Or what if she had like a little tuft of hair? No. No, 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 no. Alright, so let's zoom out here so we can see where we're going. Make a new layer. So I guess we could ask, or I could answer this question. A lot of these I've already answered before, but why work like this? Um, doesn't it feel like you could be saving a lot of time just using pressure sensitivity, you know, like inking with a real inking tool? And I can't argue it. I mean, I think in the long run that might save you time, possibly. But I find with this, especially if you use Google SketchUp or other digital tools, it's very easy to edit things in this way. I don't know. I think the more you use it, just it's weird. I'm not even really doing it justice to explain why the hell I'd recommend doing this, but something I would heavily consider at least trying. And give it like an honest effort, not this. So we can fix that up too. See, so my scribbles are actually very scribbly here. I should have tightened them up a little bit more. Because her cape is... I don't know where the hell her cape is. So I'm trying to find the pinch points here of like where this cape is folding into. Just move this out of the way. So we can start to erase here as well. Trying to think right now where this is falling here. Alright, so I have that, so we gotta have the rest of the cape. There we go. Okay. And we can erase Momo's head here from here. Right, so I can just turn this off so we can kind of see what we're looking at. And this is where it is. It's very, boring. There's no excuse the pun here, magic really going on with what we're seeing here, right? But once we start getting the inks and then the color as well, it just starts to, I find anyway, starts to fall into its own. It's sort of like knowing, and this is very true for this method, it's knowing where you plan on going that helps big time. I find just doing like generic sketching or something like this, it's a little tough. Yeah, see you later, David. Thanks for stopping out, bud. Alright, so let's get... Let's actually get the ellipse here. See how big that is. Yeah, it looks fine. This feels very Halloween-y, eh? When you start drawing witches and stuff. Alright, we gotta put the crown in here. So we can start with the front here. How do we design it? Kind of went up like this. So something I'm noticing here too is this head that she has is actually pretty big. And I'm not sure how. What the hell? Where did my stuff go? There you go. So if you look on the right here, right, like this giant thumbnail of what we're doing. It's just going to present a lot of creative challenges. Knowing that a lot of what she's doing, she's got like this giant head. In the panels that I'll be doing, right now I'm not even actually sure the panel size that we'll be doing. I don't think I'll be doing 11 by 17 like you see here. A phenomenal artist that I follow quite a bit. He has an awesome webcomic called Boulder and Fleet. I recommend you guys check it out. And his is formatted, if I remember correctly from what he was saying, is it's formatted heavily for Instagram. And that might seem like a really weird thing to format for, but his comic is geared towards younger people. It's an all ages comic, not to demean it at all. But because of that, I guess he was saying he noticed like a lot of he teaches a lot, and a lot of his students, they're always on smartphones and stuff like that, iPod touches, and a lot of them use Instagram. So having a comic on there, it's like his perfect target audience, right? So I don't think this book, even though looking at this character probably looks like something that could be all like the JESOP King will be all ages for sure. Maybe more towards the Power Ranger side of all ages. So this character's got that cute look to it. And JESOP King's kind of got the round stuff to him, but I'm not sure the size. I might go a little bit, sort of like 8.5 by 11, turned sideways, maybe a little smaller. Not quite sure, but I don't know if I'll be going pure square. That's what I meant to say with what Jersey was talking about with like his workflow. Not sure just yet, but we'll see. All right, so the last thing we've got left on her looks like she's pretty much done. Oh, we forgot about this stuff here. So we're gonna round out the fray part of her cape. This is more of just for design, obviously, but to make her feel more friendly. Even though, like I said, she's very impulsive and snappy. She is still one of the good guys. So I want her to at least have some stuff that resonates with that. So this right here is actually probably a good example of working in this method. So I don't have to worry about pressure sensitivity or anything just yet, and I can continually draw, and add and take away. Nothing so far has been detrimental when working in this style. I can add, adjust on the fly, all sorts of things like that that actually help before we get to even inking, which I think is a great way to work. It's very freeing once you let yourself try this out and get to sort of like this stage of working. Now, she's got these tentacles for hands. What I might do, let me just get that off screen here, is just for speed's sake, let's get a giant fat brush. What we're going to do is, and this is again another great way to work. I would do this no matter what style you're drawing, and even if you're just using pressure sensitivity. I'm trying to find like a good size. That looks good. And what you can do is what you're drawing is like the actual outside of the lines, if you think about it. So we're going to have this big thick line, and what we'll do is we're going to basically make it its own selection. It's on its own layer. You make whatever black selection you want, so we're going to make the tentacles. You select it. You subtract it by, again, this is what's really excellent with the dead pixel brush that we're using. I'm going to shrink it by so that it's 3.5 and then fill it with white, and you're going to see it's just going to turn into an outline. I don't know if you noticed it, but I did it right here with the gem on the crown. But hopefully it'll be pretty evident when we get in here. And I'm actually going to turn the smoothing or the stabilization on a little bit here. I don't know which direction we click for that. Just because I want that smoothness in there. So she's got like this bent hand here. So that's one tentacle. Put another one down here. And actually, these are actually very important for composition. I'm going to make a new layer. So whatever's on top here, this actually solidifies the stacking order of these objects. So I'm just trying to be careful here because I still want to show her face. There we go, that's better. And this one will go underneath here. So I'm going to 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6. All right, so I'm just going to run. I have an action made in Manga Studio. I highly recommend you guys check it out. I've used it a butt ton in Photoshop. If you go over here, there's like auto actions, what you're looking for. I've got a whole bunch of these. And one thing I can't praise enough about Manga Studio is how customizable the entire interface is. And at first, you're going to probably, I would recommend spending an hour or two. Get a Saturday or Sunday when you got some time, grab a coffee, tea, whatever you like to drink, and just actually go into the UI. All this garbage stuff that sucks, that feels like it takes you away from drawing. Because you guys have seen me talk about it. I might actually just do a video on it. Maybe I did, but an updated one just talking about that, like what to do and think about. But you can customize your entire hotbar up here, so you don't really need to use a keyboard as much and stuff. Like I can flip the image just by clicking this button, undo, forward, rotate. I don't have on there, but I should be putting on there. But if you go over here to File, right here, Shortcut Settings. This is like you can do everything, right? So I have, I think it's X, flips between the foreground color and the background color, just like in Photoshop. So I can quickly draw, again with the 3 pixel, like this workflow, black and white is all you work in. So it's very important to be able to do that. But up here, this is actually the part where I think a lot of people don't really go too far because they don't do actions. But you click there, and you get auto action. And you can see right here, like these are all the ones I have. I can turn everything blue line. You've seen me go through all this stuff. But I just press an F key to do all of these actions, so it saves you time. And the thing is, when it saves you time doing this stuff, it makes it, for me anyway, it makes it fun again. Like, I'm more inclined to go out of my way to do something like this, let's just say, because I know it's a quick way to get to it. If I had to manually go in here and click each layer to do what I'm about to do, that's not fun or cool, man. For me anyway, it just feels like it kills a lot of the flow. So this is what I'm talking about. So I've got these lines. Let's zoom in a little bit so you can kind of see what happens. I'm just going to click on a layer. They're on their own layer, right? And mine's hotkey to F8, so I'll press that. And look how, I just want to show you the power that was, okay? Now, you can change the sizes and stuff, but if you go in, like it might not be perfect and stuff. Like if you look up here in this corner, like you can see there's like a cutoff or a blur. But how long would it have taken you to draw that? Maybe not long at all, right? But watch what happens here, okay? Because I've got all those tentacles on their own layers. Done. Just like that. And that's the power that I wish, and I encourage people to check out. And this is actually talked about in, what's it called too? Again, the DC Comics Guide. I swear to God, I should just have an affiliate link for that the moment I talk about it. But just go through it, play with it, because this kind of thing is actually very cool. It's very powerful, and I think you'll get a lot out of it. And this is the thing too, right? Like check this out. So maybe this, you see the hand in the foreground here? I believe it's this layer right here. Maybe I'm like, you know what? It's in front of everything, but it'd be cool if I could like, watch this. I can drag it underneath some of these things and oh cool, now it looks more tangled. That's kind of got a cool look to it, right? Maybe I can keep pushing it back. I like it up there myself, but maybe this second layer, to put it in the back, can we get more tangle? Like, you know, and that's the really cool stuff, just being able to do that. So spend a day, just go in and just figure, and that's just one auto action that I have that does something like that, right? There's a whole bunch of things that you can make. I've got contours, new layers, even this one right here, new layer. That might not seem like a lot of work. You could just, you know, you're drawing and you just come over here and click new layer. But the way I usually work is I got a keyboard over here anyway, and I can just press F6, and it just feels very comfortable. I'm used to it, so I can just keep hitting, like you'll see over here, all new layers, and as I'm drawing, I can keep hitting that. Anyway, so Puppy Pill, have you checked out Tapastic? You can upload your comics to a smartphone. Yeah, I have, and I plan on doing that as well. I need to actually, I'm going to write that down to research a little bit more because I want to see the sizes of those. Research Tapastic for page sizes. Thank you again for bringing that up, Puppy. Appreciate that. All right, so let's keep going. And actually, what we're going to do, I forget where my last layer is for that tentacle. This one. So I'm going to just select all those, and I'm going to have to merge all these layers soon because they're kind of getting out of hand. So I'm doing is I'm moving it under everything, and layer, where's it? Combine selected layer, because those are all combined. So now if I turn it off, they're all there. But what this does is now I can go in here and I can erase the sections that I wanted to erase anyway. Alright, those are good. And then we got a whole bunch of cape action. And you can notice like how they're white because of the way that action works. It's blocking everything behind it, right? So what I'm going to do is we're going to go back to that layer. I'm just going to put it to multiply so we can see through it. Or maybe not. Okay, let's lower the opacity. Just because I want to see there's supposed to be a book in here as well, right? I do this as well. We're going to do that action again. Just because I'm looking at the clock and I don't want to be spending too much time here doing this. But if you remember that silhouetting that we did when we were designing there, you can do the exact same thing anywhere. And this takes a little bit of practice to get used to. What I'm doing is I'm making the outline, or if this whole image was black, like if this whole book was black like that, this is how it would look. And then what we're going to do is we're going to make a new layer on top. Let's get rid of this. Click, and actually if you hold shift you can actually get a straight line, which is powerful. Manga Studio 4 didn't have this, and it was a big bum out. And like I said before, remember, I still have to design this book. Right now we're just sort of like spitballing what it is. But you can see just how fast you can get this stuff. And that's really the point. The faster you can make stuff, the more stuff you can make. And I do know a lot of artists, because I'm definitely one of these guys. As much as I love drawing a lot. Okay, this is actually shit. I gotta fix this. Sometimes, you know, you don't want to be working on it all day. Sometimes you would like to be able to do something else. And if you can speed up how you work, it's got big rewards for you. See, so I gotta fix that side there. And again, you can see how sloppy this looks. A lot of it won't even matter, but once we get to inking, whoops, that's not right. Yeah, and the thing is, too, I should say as well, Red Silver saying, it seems I haven't used that many features in Clip Studio. All this stuff here is really just conforming it to how the Freddy method's done in Photoshop. I'm a much bigger fan overall of, oops, where'd the window go here? So you guys can see what the hell's going on. Of the inking tools in Manga Studio, or Clip Studio. They do tend to feel much better. But this workflow is ripped right from that guide. But yeah, going in there, actions and stuff like that, huge. I think a lot of people are either scared of it or they don't even know about it, or it's sort of like, well, I don't really do that many things that require automation. And I think if you go and you find, if you look, you'd be surprised how much time you could actually save actually doing a little bit of automation. Right, so check this out. So we've got that, and what we'll do is this thing is always in the way when I'm trying to like make some layers and stuff. All right, so maybe I want like a little buckle on here, right? So we're gonna make a new layer on top of everything again. You can do the exact same thing. I like to use the marquee tool. Feel free to use whatever you want. Right, so what we're thinking of is like the outline of that shape. Maybe we can get like a cool little design like that. Oops. And this would be the area that it would like clip into. Fill all that in black. I'll just go by so you can see it here, right? And really this stage here is just you trying to go in there and make it feel like it's not as much done. Or you didn't do what you just did. Make it feel a little bit more organic, I guess. Fuck, I keep clicking that. And we gotta find a design too, because I'm not sure drawing this sort of thing over and over again is gonna be as enjoyable as it sounds. Maybe we'll put like a little buckle or something on this side. Cool. Alright, so we got that. I mean, that's a pretty flat book. It's not really like got a cool position. That's fine. Alright, so let's draw some pages. Just erase the lines where we went sloppy with it. Right, so we'll just zoom out here so you guys can see what's going on. Right, like we're not doing a lot of crazy stuff here. Can erase the arm here. Take one last look, right? So everything's kind of coming together. Looks fine. Now I'm gonna like actually put the bends and stuff in the tentacles when we do the inking, because I think it'll look much better than just doing deadline versions there, kind of like what we did in the hat. Hey, JESOP. Hey, puppy. Oh, who's the big boy, huh? Who's the big kitty cat? Oh, big boys, huh? Mr. Big Stink. Hey, pup.
All right. Let's see if we can wrap this up. So I think what we're going to do here is I'll get the background in real quick, and then that'll be it for the stream today, because I got to see exactly what YouTube does after these things. This was meant just be a test. And then what I'll do is I'll also do the inking and coloring. I'll record all that stuff, so we'll have more videos coming out, seeing how that turns out, all that cool stuff. But I hope you guys had a good time. I appreciate you guys sticking in and leaving comments and talking and all that cool stuff. I really do appreciate it. And if you're watching the YouTube version after the fact, please leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Do you like? I don't want to say do you like the show. I don't really care if you like the show necessarily. It's more of how has this felt okay? Does this feel comfortable? Do you guys mind this? Do you prefer Picarto? Do you guys prefer Google Hangouts? Hey Jojo. So what I'm gonna do as well here is we've got a whole crap load of layers, massive, right? Do we got the right thing selected? Yeah. So what I'll do is I'm going to actually layers. Combine them. I'm going to turn them to black and white, or gray, sorry. That way it reduces the file size pretty dramatically. Thanks, Silver. And we're going to transform him too, because he is, or she's getting pretty big. And we'll do a little tilt action. Try to make a little more what's it called, energetic. So this one I'll actually call just background. I'm going to change this from lines because this is the only thing that we have. Momo, just so we know, this layer was supposed to be called lines because that's the line art layer. And what I'll do here, because this might be a little bit, well, it's not even really that interesting, but so I have a couple ways of doing contour layers. What a contour layer is, it's the outline of a character. Now I actually have an action that we're going to run for that. It's right here, F9 for me, contour and KO. What it does is add a white background. You'll see the importance of that. But the thing is that's very tricky is we have to go in here with my method of doing this and make sure these lines are closed. The other way you can do it is just grab like a brush, like this kind of guy here, and you're just going to go around everything and do this. And it gives it a little bit more of a organic look to it. But for me, again, I'm trying to go for speed. Speed's what's most important here. So we're going to just quickly go through the whole image here. And it can get a little troublesome because you have to go through everything and you'll probably miss little things. You don't have to be super cautious, but and a character like this, like I know all of these are going to be fine because we already went through and did all those, the tentacles. But like on a character like JESOP where there's a lot of room for error, you kind of have to be, like up in here's a hot mess, look at all this. And you don't have to be perfect about touching up those lines because again, the action you run is, it's a means to an end, okay? So it's going to fill in all this stuff, but once we get to inking, we're going to go ahead and you can just ink in white, right? So you can always clean things up. Always clean things up. So here, up in the hat, let's close those areas up. And we're good. Okay, so next step is going to grab our wand tool, press W, and you can actually select a whole bunch of things, which is, again, another cool thing in Manga Studio, okay? So from current layer, from all layers, from reference layer, right? So what I want to do is, I thought there was one. Okay, here you go. You can click down here, and this is what I like to do. I like to do, I believe it's this, from the folder, because there's a bunch of different layers in the folder. Let me just see if that works. Yep, it does. Okay. You just hold Shift, add to the selections here, and what we're doing is we're actually selecting everything that's not the character, right? So we're selecting around it, because that's where the contour layer would go. And if you don't know what a contour layer is, we're about to find out. So you have that. I think I can just hit F9 and it works. It's been a little bit again since I've been in here. There you go. So it looks really whack because there's this KO layer here. And what that does is I'm just going to select these both and drop them behind everything. And what that does is now that I have this white background, right? You guys have, I feel like I'm always repeating myself with this stuff, but the point is, like, everybody's always going to see these things at different times, and sometimes you just got to see it a couple times to kind of understand it. But now that I have all that, I can move it around and it'll always back out or destroy whatever's behind it. Okay? So
let's just undo it. And what's really cool, what we're going to do here is I can actually just drop the opacity so I can kind of see her. See her in there. And I'm going to bring the roughs back up because we kind of scribbled in the background stuff. And we're just going to go ahead and do just a really quick rocky background. We'll save it up. Hey Jordan, did I freehand those lines? I freehanded everything except, well, no, I freehanded everything. The tentacles, those are done by making a new layer, get a really fat brush, make a giant thick. The idea with the big brush is think of the outsides of that thickness as the line art itself. So I'd make a big thick brush for the tentacles and then just converted them into line art. Alright, so let me just see the other one that I did for JESOP KING. So there's a lot of like pressure sensitive stuff in there too. So my goal here is just to have a foundation to work with, really, for the inking. I'm not going to go in here and render rocks out a bajillion times. But we need a place for this character to sit, right? So I'm just going to put a little bit of information down here. And try to have a lot of rocks in different planes, meaning we got some in the foreground, the middle ground, and the background. This really just sets the character up to be in those spots. So I'm going to show you something here too. Watch. See how her tentacles here might be a little hard to see on your guys' screen, but there's a tentacle that goes like this. I'm going to put a rock here, and it's all pointing towards her, right? If you guys notice that. I'll put a little bit of detail in there so you can see. Once we turn the opacity back on, right here, I'll show you. Because of that KO layer we added, it blocks it out, right? So maybe I don't like the way she looks where she's at, so I can just move it around and she'll always block out what's there as long as her layer's on top of it. Okay? That's the power of this again, is being able to get to this adjustment level before you get into actually going, okay, that's the final image that I'd like to ink with, today or tonight or whatever. Put some more rocks up in the front here just to break up some foreground stuff. Maybe we'll chip it up. And I'll post this here on Facebook and Twitter and stuff like that so you guys can kind of see the line art digitally as well before we get into the inking and all that cool stuff. I got enough there to turn off the rough so I can see a little bit more what we're working with. And actually, no, it might be really cool. Let's do this. Let's open up the logo. Let's put that in there just so we get some context here. JESOP King, was it? No, it's pinup. Let's see how smart I was, or if I was, if I screwed myself by like putting things in too many layers. The York, glad to be able to catch live. Yeah, hey, thanks, bud. Thanks for popping in. Hopefully we can do more of these for sure. All right, cool. So I got the logo there. Can you duplicate in this? Duplicate? No, not like. Okay. So I'm going to bring it here. So I can just drag it in like Photoshop. No, it's great. So we got that layer. We're going to copy, edit, paste. There we go. Again, just for context, so people can, maybe it doesn't need to be that big. And that's not even really the final, whatever. All right, let's get Momo going here, like full fidelity there. We'll color this up and stuff too, so it'll be cool. So thanks again, I'll say, because we're going to wrap this up here. Thanks again for everybody that stopped by during the stream today, helping me see if this was even anything remotely fun. I'm glad that there's a chat back. Looks like you guys are enjoying it a little bit more. I think everybody has a YouTube account or a Google account. So more people can participate instead of like on Picarto necessarily, where you have to set up for a separate brand new site.
And theoretically, once I stop streaming, I'm hoping to F. We'll see what happens as I get a test. That it just uploads, and I'll be able to just publish it right away, and that'll actually be huge. Excuse me, because what that does is it lets me stream whenever I want, as opposed to right now on Picarto, when you stream with open broadcast software, and some of you guys that might be into streaming yourself or getting into it, you guys might enjoy this. But when you use this stuff that's not through the uploading site like Google Hangouts or theoretically YouTube here, once you're done recording, it saves a file to your computer, which is fine. But if you want to edit it at all, at least I do, I have to go into like a third-party program, add some effects to it, cut it down, trim it, and then republish it. It's just downtime. You guys have seen all the videos or look back on any of the stuff on my account. It's pretty much, there's not really much editing at all because I'd just rather make content as much as I can and just keep drawing, right? So that's the whole benefit of moving. So we're gonna stick to Picarto. I'll probably do a couple more streams over the weekend. So if you guys are interested, just keep following me on Facebook and YouTube or Twitter and all that stuff. And I guess on YouTube, if you pop on, I think it shows up. You guys let me know how that shows up. And all that stuff. But anyway, I'm rambling. So thank you guys so much. If you want, I'll be posting again this line art online. You guys can check it out. And if you're on Patreon, I'm actually going to upload this as well. If you guys are interested in clicking some links around and stuff like that. So again, thank you guys so much. Do appreciate it. And oh, sorry, just one more thing here. You can set up that you get notified when he is in stream. It's next to the subscribe button, I think. Oh, cool. Even better things. So what I might do is actually just check out some other YouTube streaming that's going on from other people and see what's going on there. But anyway, thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. And if I hit that, maybe we're good. So anyway, thank you guys so much. Keep reading comics, keep making comics, and I'll talk to you guys all very soon. Bye-bye.